Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I am JV here, and I thought that I would be talking about some books that I have previously read. Starting with these ones. The Star Wars original trilogy novel adaptations. I thought I am, and yes, I'm wearing a Jurassic Park shirt, but don't worry about that. But, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some of the Star Wars Legend books that I've been getting into, starting with the original trilogy novel adaptations. And pretty simple, easy to read. They're all about 180 to 200 pages, so very short, easy read. The first one, for the New Hope novelization for the New Hope, is supposedly written by George Lucas himself. This here is all based off of the New Hope screenplay, the original screenplay. So in this novel adaptation, it's all relatively the same as if you were watching the Star Wars movie for the New Hope, with additional scenes embedded within it. All the deleted scenes that were from the New Hope is all within it, to add some more details and more gravity within different situations, such as the death of Biggs, and why Luke Skywalker has more of an impact with his death than what the movie implies or shows. So they're really good friends. So if you watch the deleted scenes for A New Hope, they're all back in here. It's all good. It's all good. It's all relatively the same, except for a few bits of dialogue changes, and yeah, it's all vague or brief. That's pretty much the only difference within the New Hope novel adaptation is the dialogue. They do add a little bit more detail in some areas, but other than that, it's exactly what you would expect with watching the movie. So with me, I recommend keeping this within your Star Wars Legends timeline, because it's just pretty much watching the New Hope. And then Empire Strikes Back, it's pretty much the same as well. I don't know if it added any of the deleted scenes that are in it, but something, if you watch the movie, the only difference between that and this is that some of the scenes are in different positions. The dialogue is a little bit different as well, and the only major difference between this and a movie is that Yoda is blue. So if you don't have a problem with Yoda being blue, and it's written somewhat in a way in which you can bypass it, you can add this as well within the Star Wars Legends timeline as well. You can add it within the Legends continuity. I'm doing it. I have no problems. I mean, the only difference in here is that drastic difference, depending on how drastic you accept it or not accept it, isn't that? Yeah, Yoda's blue. Yoda is blue, and if you bypass all of that and just not think about it too much, then yeah, you can add this within the Star Wars Legends timeline. Other than that, it's exactly what you see in the movie. And in this one, Return of the Jedi, it's pretty much the same thing as well as the movie with some added information. Surprisingly, a lot of information about the Ewok society and government. That's probably the most surprising thing about this book. Um, it does vaguely allude to the fact that Luke and Leia's mother may or may not be still alive, or that they were separated in a different way, but you can just bypass that because most of the information that is said about Luke and Leia's mother is given in Obi-Wan's perspective, and you know how, in a certain point of view, Obi-Wan speaks. So yeah, and then I found it a little interesting that even though the prequels didn't come out yet, they also talk about how Anakin got his mechanical implants. I think it's in the movie too. Yeah, I believe it's vaguely in the movie, but it has a little bit more in depth in here, talking about how Anakin fell into a pit of fire, pit of lava, molten lava. So it talks about how Anakin got his mechanical prosthetics when he became Darth Vader. A lot of it is somewhat vague. You can, with many of the things that Obi-Wan says, you can take it as a certain point of view type perspective, especially surrounding Luke and Leia's mother. He vaguely talks about how, with Obi-Wan, how he and Uncle Olin are brothers, but you can brush that off as well as metaphorical because Obi-Wan says the same thing to Anakin in the prequels. You're like my brother. So you can see you can see certain people or good friends as brothers and consider them as brothers or sisters. So I can brush that off, that inconsistency, and then a certain point of view with Luke and Leia's mother when Obi-Wan is speaking. So other than that, it gives a bit more detail and dives more into the feelings of what each person is going through, including Vader. But other than that, it's exactly what you see with the movies, and you can also add this to your collection as well when it comes to figuring out what books to accept and what books not to accept when it comes to Legends timeline, Legends chronology, and whatnot. And yeah, these books, they were all released alongside the movies, so it made sense that there's some minor inconsistencies or major inconsistencies when it comes to Yoda being blue. But other than that, especially with certain point of view type of perspectives, or not thinking too much about Yoda's skin, you can add these to your Star Wars Legends collection. You can add them and consider them as part of the Legends continuity. I just thought that I'd start off with this video first and keep it simplistic. The books are pretty much just what you see in the movies, just different dialogues, different themes, and different scenes in different areas. But other than that, it's the same thing as what you see in the movies. And with that, I'll see you all later. Have a nice day. Continue on going through Legends. Have a good one.